On today's Fit to Eat, I'll show you how to make a tasty blackened shrimp taco with marinated onion and guacamole and a Mexican cabbage coleslaw with corn tortillas. Rebecca Turner will be making healthy homemade tortilla chips. We'll travel to Marks, Mississippi on our Down on the Farm segment where they've recently opened a farmer's market. And my guest, the fitness studio manager for Guru's Fitness, Denise Moulier, will help me put it all together. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Fit to Eat. I'm your host, Rob Stinson. Today we have Denise Moulier, the fitness studio manager for Guru's Fitness. Denise is an avid triathlete and is currently training for the Los Cabos Ironman competition. Denise, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
That is a serious challenge.
Yes, it is. A challenge beyond challenge.
Well, I know you have to eat well when you get ready for those things. So
Very
today
important.
we are doing a tasty blackened shrimp taco.
Perfect.
We're going to serve it with some beautiful, fresh, homemade Mexican cabbage slaw.
Awesome.
No fat in it. We're going to go a whole different route with some fat-free yogurt. And then we're going to make a guacamole from scratch. And we're going to do some neat marinated onion without using oil.
Perfect.
So everything in here, obviously, is kind of on tune with what you would want, I would assume. Our blackened seasoning, now let's talk about this. People out there, your typical blackened seasoning is 60 to 65% salt.
Yes, it is.
So it isn't like you're really getting anything but salt. So watch what we put in ours. Black pepper, garlic powder, and garlic powder has no salt. Trying to get people used to that, not using garlic salt. You might as well just throw a ton of salt.
Correct.
Onion powder. The coloring agent is paprika. Then we're still going to add a little bit more spice with a touch of cayenne pepper.
Perfect. Fat burner, natural fat burner.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes.
And you got some thyme. We got plenty of thyme today.
That's
We
what I
have
need.
sage, which really flavors that blackened seasoning.
Yes.
White pepper to give it just a little punch. And I'm going to change this just for this dish and add in some ground coriander. Because we're doing a Mexican style, we can give it, and anybody out there that doesn't know, it's really what cilantro is. So we're going to add that in as a flavoring. Now, all right, I'm going to give you the choice because I've made this over the years with no salt. But I have tasted it, and I have had people say just a little bit of salt would be a nice thing, and you wouldn't be adding that much. I'm curious what your throw is on it today.
Well, I believe that having a lot of spices and now adding that coriander is going to be phenomenal. So I would say don't add the salt because you have plenty of spice.
I like it. We're sticking with that. You heard that
right.
out there? All right. So the recipe, you'll find out down the road. And we are not going to use our salt. And we did add that little bit of ground coriander. So now the main issue here is just simply stirring this.
I really do believe that adding spice, that's where you get most of your flavor. And adding heat really takes away from wanting that salt.
You know, there's no doubt about it that, you know, we've been doing this now. This is the 5th season. And what I love about it is we have never used salt in any recipe since we started. And I'm not even talking a low amount, trying to keep it completely out. Then using as small amount of oil, keeping the butters, the mayonnaise, everything else out, which when you do a coleslaw, that's what everybody's going to say. Well, what do you use?
There's my
Man,
mayonnaise.
using fat-free yogurt makes it so easily. So now what we're going to do, we have some beautiful wild-caught domestic shrimp.
Perfect.
I seriously encourage people to look at what they're buying when they're in the store. And man, you know, they'll buy the Asian imports and they have no real laws on guiding what can go in, so they load them with tripolyphosphate, which sucks all of the food in.
Correct.
So now all we really need to do, and this is plenty for more than what we have. This is about enough for 8 portions that we made in this seasoning. So obviously we're not going to use a lot of it, but again, it's really healthy. So now we're just going to kind of stir it through not coat them too heavily because you want to taste how beautiful those shrimp are.
Absolutely. And I love to make a lot of spices just like you have and then keep it and then use it for my next meal. That way I already have it ready made. You can use that on chicken or anything else.
And I want to point something out, guys. All right, if I were to say, gee, I want a little more and stick that spoon back in, you can't do what she just said. Think about it. Don't intermingle, and you'd be sorry if you do. Now, here's the other trick. Blackening typically is in a pan full of oil, all right? 12 grams of fat in a tablespoon. You know something's going to soak in.
Absolutely.
Horrible. So, one little spray of zero fat, and then the only thing we do is put about a half a teaspoon. Now, you see how hot that pan is?
Extremely.
That oil, that half a teaspoon will dance around that pan so well. And now that we have it, we can kind of move it around. And yeah, this one is smoking hot because you want to blacken the shrimp.
It's called blackened shrimp for a reason.
Yes, indeed. And I tell you what, you can already smell them.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that amazing? There's really nothing like getting good quality product.
You know, and a lot of people are afraid to buy, you know, the good quality products. They think they're going to spend a lot of money, but reality, you're going to spend more money later in your health than investing the money right now with the good food.
It's such a good point, too, because the flavoring is just so much better this way. So now we're going to kind of keep those moving so they don't just sear on one side. And you can already see that the color is kind of mixing throughout. I love it, too, just to get, you know, this is where smell-o-vision would be so wonderful.
I was thinking the same thing.
All right, now listen, nobody's going to remember all of the different seasoning that went in there. So if you're interested in any of the recipes you see on today's show, visit our webpage at mpbonline.org/fit-to-eat or join the Facebook page, MPB Fit to Eat. Makes it very simple. Now, they're basically almost done. Look at how quickly they cook.
They look gorgeous.
You know, isn't that neat? And here what we're going to do, I have this wonderful little trick. You see how some of that seasoning is on the pan? All I do is just take a little water.
Awesome.
And it's almost like deglazing it. We don't have to add wine. You don't have to add anything.
No butter.
No butter. Absolutely no butter. And they're basically done. Now we're going to throw in around the edges our peppers. And we're going to make it so pretty. Throwing in just the right little bit. And on these, we're not going to really cook them that much. These I like to keep crunchy.
Texture.
So now we have a different texture, exactly.
Beautiful.
And these are what's going to go on top of the tortilla.
Awesome.
You know, so you've got like this contrasting texture, you got the beautiful colors. And you know, I've always tell people, you eat as much with your eyes as you do, you know, with your taste buds. So we're really getting such a pretty look on this. And again, we can do the same thing again.
Deglaze one more.
Yeah, a little bit of water. And it's neat because it almost steams those veggies. They've got plenty of flavor with that blackened seasoning.
I just love how you can make a healthy dish and people think they can't eat healthy and still enjoy tasteful food.
Isn't it true? Mm-hmm. It is so absolutely true. Now, let's take, and all I'm going to do with this is remove it from this pan. Actually, no, I think I'm going to put it on a plate where we have a little bit more space. There we go.
And it's a quick dish to make as well.
Well, and you want to cake it off the heat. You don't want to overcook it.
Overcook your shrimp. Never good.
There we go. Now,
perfect.
This is the neat trick I did too. So now we're going to take and spray one more time, real quick, because you use any more than that, you're really adding fat. And then we're going to take and put our tortillas in that same pan so they'll taste like what we had. And we're going to do the exact same with a little water.
So you get all the little flavor.
And yeah, you can see them when they start perking up like that. It makes it so nice. And these are white corn tortillas, and I tell you why I picked them. A lot of people out there gluten-free.
Absolutely.
So I thought it might be nice today. You know, whole grain you can use what you had made a comment about, which I did one season, was lettuce leaves.
Absolutely. I recommend that to a lot of my clients when we're trying to go a little bit lower carb and watching a little bit any of the flours. Yeah, absolutely. Bib lettuce or romaine lettuce gives you that crunchy texture.
Yeah, I love using romaine because you can almost get them like little finger points, you know. Let's move that one off the heat. Now, I wanted to ask you, you're talking about doing the triathlon. Gurus I guess, is kind of a focus on changing people's lifestyle.
Correct, and I'm a live example of that. I went there weighing almost 175 pounds, and one of the things that I always did was I dieted for a living, and every time you diet, you actually fail. So once you learn how to change your lifestyle and learn how to eat clean, then you change your life for the rest, and you always
right,
will
and
eat
the
healthy.
exercise kind of falls into place.
Absolutely, I always say you can't out-exercise a bad diet.
That's a great point. All right, well, listen, we're going to go right now. Registered dietitian Rebecca Turner has a great way to make snacking on tortilla chips healthier, believe it or not. So enjoy it.
While crunchy chips made from corn tortillas at Mexican restaurants, they may seem harmless, but they can pack a pretty hefty caloric punch. You'd probably swear that the basket of warm chips literally calls you by name, and it can seem impossible to resist, but just beware that one chip equals 1 gram of fat. Eek! That's right! Traditional Mexican chips, they're twice fried and provide you with 1 gram of fat each. You can see how that can really add up. Although I can't help fix the chips at restaurants, I can show you how to make homemade tortilla chips that are far healthier. They taste great and are far less oily and salty with 0 frying. Not to mention, they are so simple to make. Let me show you how. So you're going to start out by getting a good quality whole grain tortilla. You want to look for about the 6-inch ones. You can now take out about half of the tortilla chips and lay them on a good cutting surface. You can use a knife, a pizza cutter, or even scissors, but you literally are going to want to cut it like you would a pizza or a pie to make tortillas. Now, this is an easy recipe to get older kids in the kitchen to learn how to cut, but let's leave the cutting to mom for our younger kids. Now, once you get the whole thing cut out in tortillas, you're just going to take some olive oil spray. You can even use a little butter, and you want to make sure you cover a baking pan. Next step, you can just assemble your new chips onto your pan. Just beware, you're probably going to have to do several rounds in the oven if you're making a lot of chips, because not as many as you would think fit on one pan, but that's okay. More fun in the kitchen for the family. All right, you're going to do one more spritz with olive oil and just a few cracks with some sea salt, which is optional, but it does taste good. Now, that's it. Now you place it into a preheated oven for about 350 for about 8 to 12 minutes. You want to check your chips at about 8 minutes and rotate your pans. Be aware that these are very thin tortillas and they can be vulnerable to your oven's hot spots and can start to char. No one wants a smoking kitchen. The chips are done when the edges are crisp and dry and slightly lifted from the tray. They should be a few shades darker, though not completely brown, especially not black. Remove trays from the oven and let them cool slightly. As they cool, the chips are going to continue to crisp all the way through. And don't you be afraid to test one. And if they're not as crisp as your family would like, just return the trays to the oven for another 2 or 3 minutes. Now you store these in an airtight plastic bag or container. Homemade chips are known to go bad kind of quickly, so make sure you get them bagged up as soon as possible. The next time you're making tacos, try this chip recipe. They are truly fit to eat.
All right, well, baking rather than frying is always a healthier way to go. Thanks, Rebecca. And I tell you what, hey, anything that could make a tortilla chip healthier is a good thing, huh?
Hey, absolutely. If I can have tortilla chips, I'll have them.
Well, I'm gonna possibly put you to work here. You ready?
I'm ready to work.
Okay, we're gonna make, and obviously, look at that beautiful fresh avocado.
Gorgeous.
You know, there's nothing like great fresh products, so look what we have. This is really a homemade guacamole, nothing more. So we've already taken the liberty of dicing up
Perfect.
a half of an avocado, so it's about 3 tablespoons. I like to put in a little bit of our jalapeno, not too much.
Got that spice for that fat burning.
Yeah, our chopped, almost like a pico de gallo, which would be onion, tomato, jalapeno, some cilantro, and this is probably a little more than we need, really just about a teaspoon is great. I love cilantro, though.
Love some fresh cilantro is awesome.
All right, we're putting it all in there.
There we go.
Yeah, why not have a little fun here? All right, a little black pepper just to season it. So this has got the jalapeno and pepper for seasoning. And then a squeeze of lime and a squeeze of lemon. And you know what I may do? I may move this one over for you.
Right.
How about we take this over on this side?
Perfect.
And what we're going to do is just have you kind of mash it all together.
All right, we'll do that.
Can you get and have a little fun doing that?
Absolutely. This is my specialty.
All right, now, you know, that kind of leads me into asking, all right, at Gurus, you made a comment to me that you actually cook for some of your clients as well, huh?
Actually, I do. I mean, one of the biggest challenges that a lot of people actually face today, including myself back in the day, is we don't know how to cook healthy. We don't know how to incorporate healthy recipes, and we think that eating healthy is eating bland. So that's where I come in, and we kind of guide them in making sure that they can eat healthy, fun, nicely seasoned recipes.
Well, and the seasoning comes back. Where we're going to start on this, a little spray, 0 fat. I'm going to take and put our onions that we're going to make into our marinade. I like to brown them a little bit, and the pan is good and hot.
Absolutely.
You'll see.
Beautiful caramelization.
Yeah, you know, there's nothing like the natural flavor of
Onions.
caramelization and onion
A little
to me.
sweetness. Tastes really good.
Isn't it incredible? And so often people overlook it, you know, and then they'll eat them raw and they'll wonder, wow, it's got such a heavy flavor, I don't really like it, you know, and that's a shame. Now in this, about a half a teaspoon of oil is going to go, but I'm going to actually deglaze it with a little water.
Perfect.
Just to kind of get them going a little bit more. And this is a little bit different as well, because I take and I use some natural cherry juice, so it comes up and it's really got no additives in it, and it's going to color the onion into looking like a marinade that would have a lot of oil.
Awesome.
So obviously, what are we doing? We're not using oil. This is vegetable stock. No salt, no fat.
Perfect.
A natural product. We'll keep going with those. A little dash of hot sauce. Whatever brand you like works. A little tiny bit of white pepper so it doesn't show too much in the marinade.
Perfect.
You know, black pepper you'll see, you know.
Exactly.
And then we're going to take this off, put it into our bowl here, and let those go down to the bottom as much as I can, and then add the rest of our stock and our natural cherry juice together so it becomes kind of a fun marinade. And when it is done, it'll come up to having a nice color, but I'm going to keep it right now.
Almost like a pickle.
Yeah, it really
Like a
is
healthy
almost
pickle.
like it. It almost is. And I just think it's a fun topping, because you notice when we sauteed, we didn't have any onion in there.
Nope.
You've got some in the guacamole. So I thought this would be a fun little side to put on the plate for our tortillas.
Perfect.
And I tell you what, we are doing really well. You did great.
Here's my beautiful.
Oh my gosh, perfect. Wait, we got to get a close up of this. Hold on. So I know we're going to go to a quick little break, but that came out absolutely perfect. You're hired. I love it. We got a new cook. All right, well, let's talk about this. On today's Down on the Farm segment, we travel to Marks, Mississippi, where they've recently opened up a farmer's market. I want to find out more about that.
Today was a marvelous realization of 3 years of hard work. What you saw here today is government, business, public-private partnerships that can really work for the good of the people.
We'd always been working toward this goal. We've been working with farmers in the area to grow produce that we can sell so people would have food in this food desert.
There's been a lot of talk nationwide about food deserts and places that didn't have access to healthy food. We feel like this is a way to sort of bridge the gap in this community, because many of the farmers out there are producing the food, but it just wasn't getting into the places where it needed to get. So we think that if we can put all of them together, we'll have an opportunity to provide a lot of healthy produce for people in this area.
We came in with a plan to help small crop farmers begin to start to grow crops again, start to add that to their family income, and to demonstrate and educate on healthy financing, food financing, and the importance of growing the crops in the Delta, selling the crops in the Delta, and allowing that commerce to empower families financially.
Most of our small farmers can't afford to raise the cotton and the beans anymore. So we've been trying over the years, trying to get them to start raising vegetables. It's been kind of hard road to get them to do it, because that's what they used to, cotton and beans. But I think now that we got started, a lot of them are raising sweet potatoes and different vegetables, and they see the profit in it. It's much more profit than it would be trying to raise cotton and all this stuff, and soybeans. So the market is up and cut our ribbon today. So we hope that they will just be a beginning of a good future for the citizens here in Mark and surrounding areas.
All right, if you'd like to learn more about the Delta Regional Mule Train Farmers Market and Museum, you can check them out on their Facebook page. That is a mouthful.
That is.
And speaking about mouthfuls, all right, everybody is going to say, all right, coleslaw. Obviously, mayonnaise is like the evil in your world. I know it is.
Absolutely.
You know, and what do? They could have a healthy turkey on a whole grain piece of bread, and then they lop on that mayonnaise,
Slather.
and they have like ruined it, huh?
Absolutely.
So most important thing, in my opinion, is to come up with a substitute, and I love this. It's so simple, it's so easy, and when it's done right, you can't tell the difference. So we're gonna use this basic Greek non-fat yogurt, okay? We're gonna blend in all of the things you would normally have. You see, we've got fresh cabbage. All we did was slice it thin. Look at how nice and even it
Gorgeous.
is. So that way you've got kind of your base. Then we're gonna throw in, this is a little leafy radicchio. And I like it just because it adds a little bitterness.
Color.
Yep. And then shredded carrots, simple. Crunch, even more crunch. All right, you know we got to have a little fun here.
That's right. You got your jalapeno.
Oh, you got to have your
Gotta
jalapeno in there.
Bring the heat.
Got to have the heat. Little bit of black pepper, and it's really just a half a teaspoon. Doesn't need to be a lot. Obviously cilantro. Now we already figured out you love cilantro, and so do I.
It's almost my middle name.
All right, we're using the entire amount. Then the Greek non-fat yogurt.
Which it almost looks like mayonnaise.
Doesn't it though? And a little vegetable stock is my trick. So now we're going to take this. I'm just going to stir it around real quick, and then we'll go to using the tongs to pull it out. But I mean, look at how fast and easy.
gorgeous.
And it's light. It's flavorful. People just don't realize how easy it is to eat healthy.
No, and they
huh?
don't realize how flavorful. That's the key word. It's flavorful. You do not need salt to make flavorful food.
I tell you what, I am gonna, how about I move you over here?
Absolutely.
If you want to just keep stirring that around a little bit, that's great. So let's talk about Guru's though. Guru's is located here in Jackson.
Yes, we're right on Old Canton Road in Ridgeland.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so I'm gonna start working on the plating here. We're gonna put each tortilla in the center. Then we have all the lovely goodness of the shrimp that we cooked, and I put them in kind of a row like such. And I tell you what, that's a lot of food.
That's right. That is a lot of food.
You know, look at that. That was 5 ounces of shrimp too. Perfect. That's, you know what, we didn't talk about portion size.
That's correct. That's a
But,
perfect serving size.
Man, that's the biggest problem a lot of people have is they think, gee, I need 8 ounces of this, or I
Absolutely
need
not.
too much, and they end up imbibing really too much food. All right, now we're going to take and put a little bit of our guacamole
Oh, yes.
right on the side of the plate on one of our lettuce leaves. And I mean, look at that.
That's right.
A half of an
We're doing-
avocado, so again,
Your
not
healthy
too big.
fats.
Good, looking so good.
Gorgeous.
All right, you
And
ready?
Here we go.
Let's do the same on this side.
Let's finish her off.
And we'll put this
Gorgeous.
right onto. All right, now don't forget, guys, I know nobody's going to remember all of these recipes. So go to our website at mpbonline.org/fit2eat or join the Facebook page, MPB Fit to Eat. Very simple. All right, so now we're getting to the home stretch. I like to put a little lemon and lime because that was flavoring in there in case people want it. We've got also,
Yes, I'm
I know
dying
you're
to see
waiting for
those.
these,
I'm
huh?
waiting for those.
I like to take these and just kind of garnish the top because it's got so much flavor. And then we'll have a little extra. We'll get that one that tried to sneak away. You are not going anywhere. And let's
That is
move
a
this guy
gorgeous
back
looking
on the
plate.
plate. Isn't that beautiful the way it comes out? Now, we have one touch though. Our fresh grown cilantro
Can't get
right
any better
here.
than fresh grown
Right.
cilantro.
Let's pop a little piece
There you
on
go.
each one. Ouch! They said that hurts. when you nurture your herbs with so much love, it's tough when you see them going. But I mean, tell you, huh?
Gorgeous. That is perfect.
Isn't that a beautiful plate?
That is an amazing plate.
And I tell you what, it's tasty, it's healthy. You've got a lot of different textures.
Yes.
You eat with your eyes, so you got that beautiful color going on. This is truly probably one of my favorite meals that I ever do. And this one sells really well in all of my restaurants that have it. So it's hard to beat it. Now, I'd like to thank our guest, Denise Moulier. If you would like to learn more about Gurus Fitness, you can check them out at gurusfitness.com. I'm your host, Rob Stinson. Eat well.
Eat well.